It is Monday, which means it is time for Inside LAFC podcast. We're live every Monday, 12:30 Pacific time on LAFC YouTube, LAFC Facebook. Bright and early. Good morning to everyone in Korea. Tuesday morning, 4:30 a.m. If they are tuning in, we know you check on the re-air, which you can watch in its entirety with subtitles here on our YouTube channel and Facebook as well. People are rolling in already. This is great. Okay, Juan, I give you credit. You were the first. You're not always the first anymore. You used to be there. You're like, but today you were. Fluffhead LA, my kingdom for a third DP. Are you quoting Shakespeare? Are you quoting? I just watched Hamnet. It's a bit of a tough watch. It's up for one of the Oscars, but the ending, it's worth it to get to that. You might shed a tear. Good stuff. It's that time. It's that time of year. But remember, it always bears reminding. Like the video. Subscribe to the channel. As we branch out, we try to provide you as much timely and important information about LAFC and Major League Soccer. We are about 3 weeks away from the start of the season for MLS, maybe a little bit longer, but about 3 weeks and a couple days from the CONCACAF Champions Cup opener in Honduras versus Real España. Let me know if you're heading down there. I know a lot of people are trying to hedge their bets. Maybe they go to Costa Rica. You got to get past Real España first. We got to respect the opponent. But Alajuelense would await that next team. So welcome everyone in. People are rolling in. We know Max is holding back. Holding back what? Is there there's some talk about a third DP? I can assure you, you get 6 slots. You have 2 DPs, and we just added a 4th under 22. So the docket is full for now. So I don't know what's going on there. I am not privy to that information, nor do I want to know. I've told you before, I don't want to break any news. It can get a bit gnarly, that business. And a lot of time news is erroneous or it doesn't get all the way fully baked. So there we are. So welcome, everyone. We appreciate you joining us. We will get to your questions. This is your program as well. Hey, Alan, thank you for the listen. Every time I see these names pop up, our regulars and the new folks, it warms my heart because we had a big discussion about keeping this going until we bring in the special guests. We'll have some big guests coming back to join us when the season starts. We'll have a very special preview show here for the upcoming season, which is still a work in progress. So very cool stuff. What do we got here? What do we got? Coming in from Dallas, Texas, Dino, 3252. So an LAFC fan in Dallas. Who, ? Is Boudri? Let's start there. Amin Boudri is black and gold. He becomes the 4th under 22 initiative player signed for LAFC. Can you list them all? Can anyone list them all? I'll give you a couple seconds because this is part of what we're going to talk about, how LAFC have not only done a really nice job filling their coffers full of talented young players. Will they all pan out? Probably not. Some will, maybe more than we think will. Maybe they all do. They are young. Segura is not one. I'll give it to you very quickly. It is Boudri. It's David Martinez. It's Igor Jesus. Let's not forget about Igor Jesus. He's coming back from his knee injury. And Artem Smoliakov. I think some people forget that Smoliakov is as young as he is and Igor Jesus because they kind of trend a little bit older. Martinez, new position midfielder. I'm going to talk about David Martinez as well because there was a nice post from LAFC about what he's doing. And you just look at him. You get the feeling of a maturity kicking in. You can see he's been working on his body. He's got the new blonde hairdo. I don't know how that does optically, but it's very, very good. Raul or Jello. What did you change? What did you change to your handle? It's so hard to say, but hello, everyone. Thanks for our regulars here as well. Craig, yay, Max. Happy Monday once again. I know Craig is up there across the pond joining us in. So some news about Amin Boudri. And this adds to the LAFC offseason. I'm going to talk about the different offseasons because I know some people are getting a little impatient. And I'm telling you, you really shouldn't with regards to LAFC. They're very consistent about how they do business for the current times and the big picture of things, which is important in Major League Soccer, because if you overdo it, you are at risk of being stuck. And I think that's something what we look at Inter Miami. Inter Miami doing an amazing job. You could say we will see how amazing it is. They just won MLS Cup. They've already gotten payback from the Lionel Messi. And there's pressure to strike now while Lionel Messi is here. But Inter Miami, they're getting a new stadium, and they are certainly thinking about post-Messi at some point. And they want to be a super club when Lionel Messi moves on. And right now, they have been very active. Now, they did shed 2 DPs in Busquets and Alba, and that's allowed them to have a lot of flexibility. Over the last year, they got a lot of allocation money, which they are using. They brought in Dane St. Clair. Pretty club-friendly deal. David Ayala, they traded for him. He's a great number 6. I think that's one of the undercover moves Inter Miami have. There's this talk about Germán Bertarame. All great stuff for Inter Miami. However, if it pans out, great. If it doesn't, they are stuck with a lot of contracts, and we know about MLS. It's hard to get around with that. Now, LAFC, over the years, have gotten so good at this about not overextending it, keeping their quality. Part of it is that they really hit, more so or not, on these DPs. Denny Bouanga is as good of a signing in MLS history. Son Heung-min has all the indicators that that's going to be the same. The young kids at different levels, with the exception of Davi. But remember, Davi got here at the age of 17. 17. In bumpers. So this is obviously a bank to see how he will develop. But LAFC always maintains some flexibility. And I know some people are mentioning a third DP. With the 4 under-22s, they will have flexibility. So if they see a guy in the summer where LAFC makes the most of their moves that they can bring in, they can move things around and get after it. So right now they're building it, and there's a youth movement. As for Boudri, he is 21 years of age. He is a midfielder, more of the attacking kind. We will wait and see where LAFC plays him as we get more of an idea of the image Marc Dos Santos wants. It is the third player brought in this offseason, joining Jacob Schaffelberg, who's going to be on the mend for a little bit, and Tyler Boyd. So 3 good attacking players. And I can assure you, LAFC will not be done here. They will be looking, I think we'll get, it won't be a DP, but a player or 2 that can certainly fill out the numbers. So Ruben, what did I call you? Did I call you Raul? I'm sorry. But Ruben, thank you about the update. Mentioning about Bogusz to Houston. Houston Dynamo, very, very busy. And if you think about it, that turns out to be great business. Another young player that LAFC have clicked on, made a big profit off, and now he's coming back. We'd love to see him back here. But still, the business of it, an offer you couldn't refuse from Cruz Azul. And now Bogusz. I love the fact that Matty is back here in the league because he is a true talent. When does Boudri start training? I can't answer that convincingly. I haven't been at the PC last couple of days. There was video, obviously, of him arriving to sign his paperwork. LAFC obviously has to get him through the whole visa and the naturalization process, which can be a little more tedious than we all would like. That is the world we live in these days. So LAFC have a great staff with Christian, who's been a guest on Black and Gold Insider as well, to talk about how they have a staff built on getting these players, knowing full well that they're going to have these international players coming in. So Boudri is the first Swedish player. We know the LA Galaxy had Zlatan. So now LAFC has their first Swede in Boudri. He is Moroccan parents, so there is a Moroccan tie too, which is always good business. He comes from a club, Gais, in Gothenburg in Sweden. Put up some good numbers. There's a highlight reel out there. Looks really impressive. He is different than a lot of the players that they would traditionally have. He is different than the other 2 signings that are more vertical in the form of Boyd and Schaffelberg. But I love the core of players that this team is putting together. And yeah, I know some people, Max, what are your feelings signing DP this summer? I think it's possible. It has to fall a line. LAFC is not going to fast track something unless it makes sense to them. For the type of player they're looking, and the player also shows those signs that he is an LAFC type player, which, as we've documented well here, has to be a good dude, fit into what they want to do, and all guns a-blazing moving forward. So Amin Boudri is a guy they've identified. And again, we're limited to the amount of stuff that we can see. I don't have maybe we can find a Swedish football insider here that we can talk about it, but there's just not a lot of tape, and there's not a lot of information that crosses it. But I can assure you, the scouting department for LAFC are meticulous. And I want to talk about, and it's funny what you brought up, Matty Bogusch. And again, this is Inside LAFC podcast, live every Monday at 12:30 Pacific time on LAFC YouTube and LAFC Facebook. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Let's grow the audience. Let's get the word out. So many people want to know where there's information. This is accurate information. We don't overdo it with opinions. We're giving you the information we have, and we will throw it into all the database of LAFC to show what the club is doing. So this is what I was going to mention, that LAFC in the market for European players. So if you're new to MLS would go to Central America, parts of South America, not so much Brazil, because you could get good deals for players. So getting European players was a pipe dream, maybe from Central and Eastern Europe. But, more traditional leagues, more traditional Western European sides, you wouldn't do it. Well, that has changed over the last few years. And LAFC has been on the forefront of doing that. Go back to Andre Horta, a transfer that didn't work, but that was as ambitious a move that Major League Soccer has seen. Now, when you look at what LAFC has done going after European players, they have an excellent track record. They have a great scouting department. Obviously, John Thornton at the top, Neil McGuinness, and then these guys are looking for players in Europe, in South America, no stone left unturned. But just a group of players that we've seen in recent years. Obviously, Denis Bouanga, coming from the French league. Sergi Palencia, coming from France, originally a Spanish player. A little bit older in the years, but a guy that they could go after and pursue. Obviously, there was a guy, the big name players like Son Heung-min and Olivier Giroud. I will leave out that because that's a unique circumstance of a star player that wanted to come here. And you don't have to scout so much. You don't have to look so much for tape on Giroud or Son Heung-min. But with Bouanga and Sergi, Ryan Porteous is a real Neil McGuinness signing. Igor Jesus, albeit Brazilian, comes from the Portuguese league. That was a high-profile signing. So you're looking at the width and breadth of European leagues. There are players that LAFC haven't kept, but showed a lot of ambition to bring in. Andy Morin from Brighton and Hove Albion. Fufu Krastev, who was in the Dutch league, the Bulgarian player, who was super exciting. And when they don't sign these players, it obviously means it may not work out financially. Cengiz Under. These were quick loan signings that came and went. LAFC, with their finances, couldn't make it work out. But the fact that they're in the market for these guys show you the net that they're casting in Europe. Matty Bogusch, coming over, was it Leeds United? He was playing in Spain, Polish player. His career just blossomed. So there are more hits than misses, but there's going to be misses when you're looking at the volume of players. So LAFC has done a really good job. I know Mario Gonzalez, but Mario Gonzalez wasn't a high. It was more of a stopgap measure. You take a shot. So absolutely, yes, Hyun Chul, Kevin Kim, getting Andy Morin would be great. I know LAFC really wanted to keep him. I can assure you when you're dealing with a Premier League side, it's not going to be cheap. But maybe down the road, we will see Andy back. Ruben, Max has all the insider trading info. It's just common sense. I have all the data that LAFC have done it. So with all of that in mind, it gives me confidence that they've seen Boudri for a long time. They said this was the guy, and they've gone for him. Does it mean he's going to be a success? I don't know. But I think there's a better chance it would be than it isn't. And I'm excited that LAFC and many other MLS teams, although mainly LAFC, are going into Europe and finding talent and competing with teams in England and Spain and Italy and Germany and Portugal. That's big time, baby. Inside LAFC podcast, drop your questions as we welcome Amin Boudri. And I think we'll see him pretty soon. And pretty exciting stuff to have a guy of that nature. And LAFC's offseason now has 3 players. Solid. Keep in mind, Son Heung-min and Ryan Porteous, who were brought in August. You see, over the past year, LAFC have done a nice job of filling out their team. I want to talk about the LAFC youth movement because that's part of the Amin Boudri move as well here. I had some questions here we will answer. New season. When will the new home uniform be unveiled? Is it really gold? You'll get your answer here very early February. Get your orders in. It's going to be spectacular, like every other LAFC jersey. And black, gold, it's going to look nice, and it's going to get you through the velvet ropes at any hot club on Sunset Boulevard. What are the new? Everyone wants to know about the jerseys. We're going to find out very soon. Buanga's new hair. Denny's back. Denny's back with the squad. Scored a goal in preseason. We'll talk about that very shortly. ¿Cómo estás, hombre? Who is missing in training? Is Boyd in? Only Boudri missing, right? Yes, Schaffelberg's, I think it was a groin injury. Tyler Boyd should be ready to go pretty soon because he was coming through the MLS ranks already. And now Boudri and, everyone else is here. And that's another great spot that we have with regards to LAFC this season. Max, what if we don't sign a DP this summer? Our fans are having lots of questions on owners and board members bringing in Sonny and not making the most of it. Listen, LAFC finished the season on a tear with Sonny. They signed everybody. They have uniformity from one season to the next, which they haven't had, and now they're filling in some roster spots. Obviously, they have a new coach. That's something they're going to have to work. The third DP is something LAFC have in their pocket. If you fill that third DP, it's got to be the right person because you got to be stuck. You are going to be married to that. Yes, would you like one with Son Heung-min? Sure, but it's got to be the right guy. And I think if it's not there or it's not there this summer, let's see where the team is in the summer because I think a lot of people are already putting the cart before the horse. I think LAFC gets off to a great start here, knock on wood, good health, and then you can build up big or small. I wouldn't look too much into seeing, hey, Son Heung-min, we're on the clock. Son Heung-min's going to be here for a good amount of time. All accounts is he's happy and he is ready, and we know players are playing longer into their career. He takes very good care of himself, and he's going to have a busy year, but once the World Cup's over, that focus is here. And he is going to be focused up till then while he's here getting ready for LAFC in the World Cup. It's going to hurt if Bogusz scores on us. That's football. Players come and go, but it'll be good to see him. And LAFC do have, was it a game against Houston early on? I think, yeah, that's one of their early games. So we will get a good look at that. It's good. I'll say this about Houston, New England, DC United, Toronto, teams that struggled last year that are all making big moves in the offseason. That is a very good sign with regards to where this league is going, that the bottom is trying to keep pace with the top. So good stuff. Good stuff there. I'm trying to look here with regards to, yes, Houston LAFC is the second week in Houston. So we'll get a good look at that. Let's see. One more question we'll get in. Is Long still out? We don't know the last time. I saw Aaron, and he's walking okay. He's starting his running quickly, and if there's a guy who can fast track his return, he won't be there at the beginning of the season. April sounds about right, so we shall see. 13 days until Coachella. That's basically a fortnight. That is correct. Get your tickets for the Coachella Valley Invitational February 8th against New York City FC. It's at noon. And by the way, the Rams are out. Okay? It hurt. I know. I'm not a Rams fan, but I was pulling for them because I live in this city, and they have 2 Florida State guys, Jared Verse and Brandon Fisk. So I wanted my Florida State guys to do well. And Seattle, New England's not the most exciting Super Bowl. So that's Super Bowl Sunday, so you don't have to rush home. You go to a party. Why don't you go to Coachella Valley Invitational and settling it in? If LAFC are writing a European shopping list, ask Neil McGuinness to keep an eye on 19-year-old Ryan One. Did I say that correctly? Of Sheffield United, apparently attracting interest from Liverpool, Brighton, Leipzig, etc. We spoke to Neil McGuinness here on the show. Keep in touch with Neil. He has a database and his finger on the pulse. There he is, Ruben. There correctly. Houston versus LAFC. So, yes, the Rams are out. Let's have a moment for the LA Rams. They were valiant. I hope we get more LA Seattle sports, man. We know with the Sounders and LAFC, those two cities get after it. It's pretty good. So the LAFC youth movement, I kind of got sidetracked here, but let's get back on the rails. I want to list the players because we always used to say LAFC, you have to be a seasoned player. It's a very difficult team for young players to break into. That's changing. And LAFC are leaning into young players. So Boudri, 21 years of age. Nathan Ordaz, 22. It's crazy how long Nate's been here. David Martinez, 19. Artem Smolyakov, 22. Igor Jesus is 22. Jude Terry, who we've already said is having a great preseason. Aaron Long saying he's the guy to keep an eye on. He's 17. I think he might get some minutes because he can fill that Igor Jesus role a little bit. I think Jude Terry will get a few little shifts here. We'll throw Matt Evans. I think Matt Evans has done really good in the offseason, but he's a little behind Jude. Jude, by the way, when you look at the best players under 18, there is Kevin Sullivan is number one. Matthias Albert, who's at Dortmund, is number two. And then Jude Terry is somewhere 4 or 5. The NYC player, his name escapes me. He is probably 3. But Jude Terry is the number one at his position under the age of 18, based on every report I've seen. So he is a high profile teenage player. And then Adrian Webo, who is 20. He might get in there as well. So that is 8 guys. And we have seen Martinez start games. Ordaz, Smolyakov. Smolyakov came on big at the back end of the year as a left back or maybe up in the midfield, can take set pieces. Igor Jesus was our starting 6. And then some new players. This is a new phenomenon. And Amin Boudri and the fact you have 4 under 22s tells me that LAFC are going to lean into kids, which I love to see. Because, as I've said before, I believe the children are our future. February 21st, you're talking about LAFC Miami. I know people are still... Max, we had problems playing low-blocking teams, as Vancouver showed us in extra overtime. Vancouver's not a low-blocking team. I mean, they hung on. We could look back at that playoff game. LAFC hit the post 4 times in extra time. They came all the way back. Vancouver was on the ropes. They just couldn't get it. So I know that Minnesota was a low blocking team, and LAFC had success against them. They're going to face a lot of low blocks. I think the personnel you have are pretty good at breaking that. And Schaffelberg and perhaps Boudri are going to help you break those blocks down a little easier. So that's all part of it. But the LAFC youth movement, now kids make mistakes. Kids take a while to develop. But LAFC... It's to me, it's interesting they find that now they're starting to really invest in that. Obviously, that's part of it too. You want to sell on these players, which they've had some success with. So I like it. And again, the flexibility of the under 22s allows you to maybe get that DP when you are ready. This is Inside LAFC podcast. We're live every Monday on LAFC YouTube and Facebook. Check out all the great programming here on our YouTube page. I know Dave and Mario will be back Thursday. I saw Dave Denholm get a reference here. They do a great job. I believe that's on Thursdays, and you can tune in as well to get more great LAFC content. So we are seeing LAFC's partnership with Korean companies are growing, and I wonder how much more they will grow. A new partnership was announced today. There was a big mention for MLS and a new data partnership, which is pretty exciting as well. So with regards to LAFC, there's the bread company, which escapes me. Okay, so they've partnered with Polymarket. So very cool stuff. And LAFC, we know the powers that be are getting into Wire Barley is a new partner. They mentioned that on their social media. Korea is a big time market for LAFC, as we know by our friends who tune in here. And LAFC are over there looking to, they're also doing here on the local fronts with great radio deals that we're going to have with our partners here, so we can talk about that as well, so that our Korean LA community is well serviced as also. And the business of MLS, you've got to look everywhere. So LAFC know that Korea is a very viable market. So that will continue. So Inside LAFC podcast, like the video, subscribe to the channel. The preseason has continued. The first game was a scrimmage against the Bayern under 23s. They played Orange County. I didn't see that game. That was a 1-0 victory. Denny Bouanga scored, so that's good when you just look at the match reports. Coming up on Wednesday, another close-the-door game against the Timbers. I will be tuning into that game, and I will give you a report. These games get more important as well, as more and more of the regulars will lock into these games. So this is all going to lead to February 4th at Coachella. That's a closed-door game. And then February 8th, go to Coachella Valley Invitational so that you can spend the day there. I think I'm going to get there on the 7th. I'm going to visit some friends who live in Joshua Tree. Might go to Pappy and Harriet's to have some dinner. It's a little old Western town, pioneer town. So much stuff to do out there. So I'm going to do that. Then I'm going to shoot down to Coachella to watch the game at noon. I look forward to seeing all of you. Come by and say hello. Bring a hat because that sun hits you, and bring sunscreen. That's my advice. And obviously some water, etc. And then go have a nice lunch or dinner or wherever, play some golf. There's a lot of stuff to do. So the preseason will continue. It is pretty short. So this is game 3 coming up on Wednesday, and it'll be to 6 games. And then it's time for Real España. Obviously, if you're a player, preseason is important, but it's also you're eager to get going. I got to read this mention. We have a Korean fan saying, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Thank you for tuning to our live program. Spread the word as we were talking about our Korean partnerships. So the preseason, you don't want it to be too cumbersome. You don't want to do anything too risky. Obviously, injuries and stuff are something you want to, they're going to happen in a real game. And both teams know that. You know, you want to err on the caution. You want to get your fitness up. And you just want to you want to get the game speed going in your head. So that's very good. Chris Vernon, M. Okay. Good to see you. I don't know what that means, but I appreciate it. Paris Bakery. Thank you. That's the other one. I'm going to try some Paris Bakery products. I hear they have a cracking croissant. So I look forward to that. I hope to get to Korea very soon. I went to Spain Christmas, and my friends who fly to Korea and Japan say you can get out there quicker now than flying to Europe. So food for thought. We will see about that. The preseason continues. That is the latest. Get out to Coachella Valley. It should be fun. There's a Galaxy game right before it, so you can kind of, heckle them a bit if you want. But you get to see 2 games. See as much MLS as possible. Wanted to wrap up here because we have talked. Paris Baguette is what I'm talking about. Paris Baguette correctly is the new Korean partnership. Come on, MCRG, 3TH. Sounds like a science fiction movie with these handles on your social media. Let's talk about Bouanga and Son, year 2. Our good friend Michael McKnight with an article that you can read on LAFC.com. Also available on LAFC social media, talking about season 2, which really is the first full season. It's a really interesting read. They talk about the Hyung-bu duo, the 2 brothers, and how they came together and so quickly. Remember, it was in August, and they hit it off. And all indications that Sonny and Denny are going to hit the ground running and be explosive here. This was an interesting stat that Michael had in that article. 11 of Denny Bouanga's career-high 24 goals scored after Son arrived. So August, September, October, you're into the postseason. Denny was on fire. We expect more of that. And they got some pieces around. Who are going to be? Is it going to be Nate, David, Boudri, Schaffelberg, Tyler Boyd? Those guys got some help. And I know some people, by the way, are asking about defensive help. And we'll get Aaron Long back. We'll get Igor Jesus back at some point. Even with those guys injured, LAFC's defensive record was top 3 in MLS. They didn't give up goals. I know they played with that back 3 or with Eddie Segura. They didn't give up goals. Do I want to see them get a center back? Absolutely. The more, the merrier. And it is a need with Aaron Long out because you want cover, because if anything happened to Ryan or Nkosi or Eddie, you would have some problems there. But as it stood, it was one of the best defenses in MLS. So the Heung-bu duo, thank you, beloved 0226. So that has been very, very big. And I also wanted to mention this, and it's a story that we have kind of harped on over the last few weeks, and why I'm really excited about this 2026 season. This year, for the first time in club history, LAFC's preseason roster included every player who started the last game of the previous season. So the last game of the regular season, or start of the playoff game. I know Andy Morin and some guys came off the bench, but that starting 11 is all still here. That has never happened, not even close. I think that's going to benefit LAFC, and you add the nice pieces, and I believe Denny Bouanga-Sun partnership is going to be lights out season 2. So read that article. It's a good read. It's going to get you excited for the season. Some good writings there on our LAFC.com website. Let's get to some questions. We'll wrap it up here. Dolo defensive mind. That's right, but Ruben, they were good defensively, but they got goals. Denny Bouanga's 24 goals. Sonny was scoring goals. Would you like to see other guys score more goals? Yes, but they did score them. Even in the playoff game, 2 goals coming from behind. Unfortunately, couldn't get the third. Cannot help worrying about defense since Along will be out. 100%. And I think they want to get some depth. And I think you might look at a loan or something. Think about all these good like Marlon and Jailson, guys that can, in a pinch, get you a couple games. And the one thing about LAFC, these players come and they love it and they settle in pretty quickly. So it's a pretty desirable place, as we found out from the MLS Players Association, where LAFC was listed as the #1 destination for players and the #1 home field advantage. Are we bringing any defensive line players? I don't know anything specific, John Lee, but I'm pretty sure we'll see something. LAFC's never done, and everyone gets a little bit worried, and they come through. And talking about John Thornton, he said they were looking for some depth pieces when we spoke to him at the end of the season. I would expect that to happen as well. Some discussions here about the game in Coliseum. Someone was asking what day it is, so let's talk about it. February 21st, LAFC versus Inter Miami at the LA Coliseum. Get your tickets. They're expecting 77,000 people there. This is going to be perhaps the biggest game in MLS history outside of MLS Cups. But even then, because MLS Cup, you get to preview for a week. This you get to build up. And I know a lot of people involved in the production, including our production guru, Sarah, here. There's a lot of work going into this. So this is going to be, it's one thing when they've had these games for LAFC and the Galaxy. Remember the one that got rained out a couple years? But this is the defending champs. This is Lionel Messi with the reconfigured Inter Miami. You don't want to miss this game. And I am predicting an LAFC W, because I think LAFC will be ready to go and Inter Miami is going to be trying to find all their pieces. This is why I like what LAFC's situation for the CONCACAF Champions Cup. Obviously, playing at home, you guys will play a big role in that, cheering it. For fans outside of Los Angeles, you have 3.5 weeks. You have 3.5 weeks. Get your hotels. A lot of good stuff. Probably a good price in February because LA is not heavily visited that time. Build it around LAFC Inter Miami. For our friends in Korea, come visit Koreatown. I can give you some recommendations on where to eat. So much good stuff there. Come to Disney. Go for a hike in Palos Verdes. Let's do a nice winter. February's fantastic. There's all the details at the LA Coliseum, LAFC.com for tickets. Make sure you're part of that. Let's make it 80,000. See if we can get 80,000. You think we can do it? Quickly, we'll go through some questions, and then we will wrap it up. We'll be back next Monday. And again, guests will be joining us very soon. We'll have a very special preview show, and then we will recap every game. We'll recap that Inter Miami game on February 23rd. Can't wait. Can't wait. Do you know when we can buy LAFC jerseys? Pretty soon. They're coming out here early February. You can get all of that. It is expected that there will be a lot of Korean groups watching the opening game, but I hope the players will have a good result without injury. I don't know what to expect, but if I was in Korea and I wanted to pick a game to come see, you have plenty of buildup, that would be it. I would preferably like to see a game at BMO Stadium because it's unforgettable. But being part of this historic game at the LA Coliseum would be pretty cool, and you can build up to it. If you can't do that, there's home games coming up shortly thereafter. Our home openers against Dallas in early March, so come for that one. Yeah, I know you meant the season opener at the Coliseum, 100%. I know that one for sure. Get there early, at least 3 hours early. Parking will be wild. Yeah, you can also take the Metro. It is the culture built by fans, coaching staff, and front office. Does Marc Dos Santos, have a similar playing style as Dolo? We're about to find out. When we spoke to Marc Dos Santos when he was announced, he said there's some wrinkles and maybe going back to how LAFC looked in the past. I don't have any intel on that, but Marc Dos Santos, that's why you go out February 8th. You'll get a good look at it, and then February 21st, it will all be coming into full view. So we have it all laid out for you. New players, youth movement, LAFC doing well in Europe, and lots of stuff on the calendar. And this is the calm, and it's going to get rowdy here very soon. And the jersey, yes, will be coming out soon. So all your business is in order. I'm coming from Dallas to the home opener against Miami. Way to go, Dino. You have your ticket. Hope you have a place to stay. If you need some recommendations, we will give that to you. That's all the time we have for Inside LAFC Podcast. Again, live every Monday on LAFC YouTube and LAFC Facebook. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, spread the word, and you can watch the re-airs at any time. Until then, this is Max saying, let's go black and gold.